Mike's ringing.
Collection of 25 prints. I have a collection of 25 prints right now, and I'm trying to build that collection. They all start from original canvas paintings, and then again, these are the prints. So I'm trying to find a way to mass produce and get it out to people who don't own the originals but still want to support the artwork. And here's an example of my abstract. I do things to match your furniture. Decors, rugs, any type of idea you have, just hit me up. Thank you.
Turn it. Okay. Hey y'all, my name is Sanji Jones. I am the owner, creator, and artisan for Good Vibrations Beading. I like to focus on waist beads, but I make anything dealing with beads. I like to joke around, play with words, change the narrative up a little bit, and I like to say I sell dope. Um, Divine ornaments providing energy. I like to call my jewelry dope. I like to call myself dope. I like to call you dope, you dope. Like, it is what it is. It's the energy being generated. I can be found at goodvibrationsbeating.com. I do accept custom orders. There is nothing I can't or won't try to do for you. And you can find me at Dope Good Vibes on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
All right.
I might need your help
Okay. Hold that for me.
if you want. If you want to
And you
hold
hold
those.
this.
Okay, I hold this.
Okay.
All right, my name is Ashley Young. I am the owner, operator, wire artist of Natural Beginnings. I've been doing it for over a year. I taught self-taught. I do custom pieces. I work with copper, gold, and silver. And I can be found on Natural Beginning 22 on Instagram, naturalbeginning22.com for my website, and just Natural Beginning on Facebook. But I do love to make custom pieces. I'm happy to try anything new. I'm up for a challenge. I love to build my portfolio in that way. So hit me up, let me know. And I also have a lot of pieces available at the Raleigh Market every Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to come and speak to me personally about crystals, and I got shark's tooth and a little bit of everything, just feel free to reach out to me, okay?
Okay, moving right along. Next, we have one of our special vendors.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shay. I am the owner and creator behind Bound with Love Candle Co., a luxury candle experience. I started my company about a year and a half ago. I'm born and raised and located out of the Raleigh area. I make soy candles, hand poured. I do custom scents for people that are interested in that. I do candle making workshops, corporate events, and anything that brings joy through scents. My Instagram is Bound with Love Candle Co., and my website is boundwithlovecandleco.com. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish I could take credit for it. My name is Santia. I'm the owner of the Yanni Parlor in Durham. We're on Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway, right across from the Harris Teeter, just FYI. I opened the shop to help women get pregnant. I want to be known as the woman in North Carolina that gets everybody pregnant. If you don't want to be pregnant, it's okay, but if that's your purpose, then let me help, right? Successfully gotten 2 people pregnant so far, so I'm excited about that. 1 before I started the business officially, and then 1 since then. And I have these beautiful sponges. They come in crystals as well, but they're chakra sponges, and they're already pre-soaped. You just wet them, so they have the crystals inside of them as well. And of course, I specialize in vaginas, right? So I have these beautiful Kegel Balls. They come in different sizes, so you can tighten the floor and the wall of the vagina. And I do believe that vagina and penis should not be a taboo word. We should talk about vaginas and periods and lingams and scrotums and prostates, all of it, because we're human, right? And then I have this beautiful healing oil here. My herbalist is from Liberia, so it's all natural herbs that she soaks for 3 weeks prior to bottling everything. She's the real deal. So any types of aches and pains, arthritis, any type of carpal tunnel, which is me, and you don't want to keep popping pills, right? For stress, we do it before meditation. Speaking of meditation, we also offer meditation, guided meditation in the parlor, music and vibration therapy, as well as foot and full body detox as well. Thank you. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the Yanni Parlor of Durham, and our website is yanniparlorofdurham.com. Thank you.
Good job.
Hello, everyone. I am glad to be here tonight with all of you. My name is Tamia Mills, and I am the author of my book, Suddenly. I went through some challenges a couple of years ago. I lost both of my parents in a car accident at the same time, and I went through depression, I went through anxiety, and I was also suicidal. But many of you may not know that in your darkest moment, God can really birth something out of you. You know, nothing is being birthed out when everything is going good, because you need to know your strength. You need to know where you stand in your purpose in life. And so God quickly reminded me that I was an author when I was a little girl, and so I was able to birth out my book Suddenly. God took me all the way back to my childhood, where I went through some issues that many of you in this room may be going through, or you may be connected to family members that have went through something. You know, in our culture, we have been taught that when you go through things, you don't talk about it. You keep your mouth shut. What happens in this house stays in this house. But I believe that God allowed me to birth out Suddenly to let people know that you got a voice, and to also let you know that your pain is for a purpose. I am also the CEO of Kingdom Publishing Agency. I'm also helping our culture and other cultures around the world to let them know that they have a story and that they need to share their story to be able to help someone else. In me doing so and being obedient into writing my story, I helped my daughter. She was 10 years old when she wrote her own story, The Bullet Girl. So I'm going to let her talk to you about that. But quickly, I am also a health and wellness coach. And so many of us have been stuffing our face since Thanksgiving. And many of you may not be feeling good in your gut and your digestive system. But many people do not know that disease starts in the colon. A lot of times people are developing diseases, high blood pressure, and also becoming a diabetic because they're not cleaning out their colons. Many of you are trapped with pinworms, parasites, because of the foods that you're eating. But if you begin to detoxify your body, right, you will feel so much better. I always say the food that we're eating is killing us prematurely, right? We're not drinking enough water, so that's leaving us dehydrated. A lot of us are having a deficiency in vitamin D. But when you begin to thoroughly detoxify your body with this tea, I've been with this company going on 7 years. I've been a health and wellness coach since the 6th grade. I've really been a health coach since the 6th grade, learning about the body and how the body works. So all you need is 2 cups a day with the ISO tea, It has no caffeine. It has things like permissive leaves, holy thistle, ginger, myrrh, some of the things that you may already have at home. But when you put it in a tea and sip on it, you're going to feel so much better. 26 benefits: high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, digestive issues, and also cleaning out your colon. I can go on and on. But come and see me. I have things for your energy, have things for longevity, things that can get your body back and working the way it's supposed to be working, so you won't get fixed and hooked on pharmaceutical medications that, again, that is killing us premature. Let's get back to the basics, guys. This is my daughter, Tamia Mills.
Hi guys, my name is Tamia. I am the author of The Bully Girl. What inspired me to write this because I used to be bullied in school, and I know a lot of adults and a lot of kids are also being bullied still to this day. So I want to write this book just to let people know that you can get through bullying, and basically talking about how I was able to get through bullying myself. I used to have anxiety, suicidal thoughts. I wrote this when I was 10 and now I'm 13. So I just want to inspire people that you can get through bullying, and people are mean in this world. So it's very important that we stick together, especially as a culture, because we're the #1 culture that is always separated. And so it's really good that we all need to come together and come as one. So you can find us on Instagram at I am Tammy and Facebook on Tammy Mills. So come and see us.
Great job. All right, let's give our vendors another hand.
Hi. Okay. Hi. My name is Muna Mujahid. I make a clothing line called One You. I make one-of-a-kind clothing because I think everybody deserves to walk through a room and have only nothing that belongs just to you. I try to make things based on the African concept of clothing. Sometimes people don't want to wear African prints, but you want the comfort and ease that African clothing has. So I love all kinds of fabric, upholstery, everything. So I just buy fabric, and then whatever comes to mind, I make. So, because, you know, who wants to see themselves coming besides just them? So if you can just walk past, this is a crop top I made. This is a two-piece linen with drawstrings. I rarely do things with zippers and things like that because then you don't have to worry about repairing your stuff. You can always go. If you lose weight or gain weight, you can still wear your clothes. This is a dress. This dress is for a tall person, but as you can see, if you put a belt around it, you can make it for a short person. I also try to do my things with, this is an outfit. Sometimes, you know, I just like to blend. You know, like I said, you don't want to wear a full African thing sometimes, but you can blend what you need to have. Yeah. Okay, Tamisha? And again, most of my things are inspired by a designer out of New York by the name of Moshood Oforiegun from Nigeria. Moshood started making clothes many, many years ago, and what I loved about him, the ease and everything. Because, you know, who wants to be carrying a whole lot of stuff when you're traveling? These things travel easy. I usually make things that don't have a front or a back, so sometimes if you're out, you spill stuff on your clothes, you don't want it to be ruined, all you gotta do is flip your thing around and you're ready to go. This is a simple, one-of-a-kind, it can be for a man or a woman. His hair was too much, so it didn't happen to fit, but it had a little crown that goes with it. You know, just like I said, it's just stuff that I like, so that's what I do. And this is a traditional African vest. The style that men are wearing these days does not suit me, so like I said, I kind of keep it fluid and easy. So thank you very much. All right.
Wonderful, wonderful. That was great. Any more? Is there any more vendors? That's all vendors? We have one more? Sure, one more.
Also like to give a shout out to Mr. Gary Jones. I'd like to ask him to stand up. He's got a radio show that's playing on several different stations. Okay, and the name of his radio show is called Get With The Program. And everybody who signed in, I'll make sure that I'll send you the latest copy of the radio show. We're looking at a future collaboration between Too Much TV, over-the-top television, and audio with Get With The Program. So he's been a long supporter. He's a Shaw University grad, and he's been a long supporter of black business. So I want to thank you. I want to thank him very much. Next, we have another special guest who we've invited to come out. And then after that, we're going to talk about our sponsors and get into the rest of the show.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Damian Little. I'm the owner of Temperature Pros Heating and Cooling, LLC. We offer repair and service business. You can find me on Facebook at Temperature Pros, LLC. And you also can find me at Instagram, Temperature Pros, LLC. Hot or cold, call Temperature Pros, the pros that knows. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And I really want to give a shout out to the Temperature Pros gentleman because he works with in collaboration with KMT Heating and Air Conditioning, and they've had a good, strong relationship. And this is an example of two brothers that's in the same industry. And so instead of them being territorial and saying, you get yours, I get mine, they actually decided to come together and form a collaboration because the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So I just want to give them a shout out. And then he's also working with Mr. Sean Oliver over here, a partner of ours on the camera. And he's the owner of KMT Heating and Air Conditioning Corporation. And since we've been working together, KMT Heating and Air Conditioning Corporation has been able to exceed $500,000 in sales. He's been able to provide benefits for himself and his family. And we're also putting together a retirement plan and putting him in a position such that he can acquire heating and air conditioning companies from older people looking to retire. Okay? So and this gentleman right here, if you give him a hand, his name is Sean Oliver right here on the mic. Okay? I'm going to pass this over to our MC, Mr. Blush, and he's going to take us from here. Introduce the rest of the partners and then take us from here.
Thank you again, Doctor. Let's give the doctor a hand. Okay. So, tonight we're here to bring attention to a very, very important social networking event, okay? And with anything, you always want to start with the end at the beginning. What's your goal? Where you want to go? What's your future? And what you want to be. So what I'm going to do is show you guys a 1-minute clip with an interview from Dr. and Mr. Bates on some topics of interest. But before we go there, I want to welcome our vendors and our partners again. Probe Consulting. Are you here, Probe? He's not here. Okay, KMT Heating and Air Conditioning. Network Commerce Association. Lead Generation Apps. L. Price Arts Incorporated, Too Much TV, TMT Youth Foundation, CG Staffing, and Rebuild the Block, okay? All right, so we're gonna go into this video real quick.
So what would you like to see? So what would you like to see? I mean, you've had a lot of experiences.
I want to see what's in the future. Number one, if you don't grow your future, it ain't going to grow itself.
The employees can become the new owners of the company.
Yeah.
Okay? And that is the best model. But guess who doesn't do it?
We don't.
We don't. What we got to realize is that these laws include us.
We up and sitting in like 5 of the tax credit zones.
There's not one black tax credit syndicator. See, when it comes to wealth, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. But a tax credit is better than cash. Most of us don't have tax credits incorporated into our portfolio. Y'all sitting on a platinum mine.
Well, let me go ahead and get it.
No, literally.
I'm serious.
legacy of Jim Crow and segregation and social practices, separate but equal, all those things. And so I wanted to show you, you've seen some of these maps, you've seen them in reports. This is the official name of the redlining maps, the security maps by the Homeowners Loan Corporation. This was a New Deal program, and of course, as many of you know, the New Deal was the series of things that President Roosevelt did to kind of help us out of the Great Depression. It was in New York at a conference. I got a call that I'll never forget. It was a call to tell me that my father had passed away in his home. And unfortunately, I was not able to inherit that home because he himself had his own struggles. I won't put those struggles out there. It is not easy to be a homeowner, to maintain your own primary residence, much less maintaining air properties or extra properties. So anyone who is engaged in that, this is where a lot of times I think the gentrification conversation comes into play here in North Carolina.
Send out the opportunity zone link to everybody in the next email. Tamisha, if you help with that, and then you'll be able to hit the link and check your property or any other property you want to check instantly.
Charlotte University has always been the bridge to Southeast Raleigh. And when we look at what's happening in the economic boom part of the city, and then we look at what's happening at us and the rest of Southeast Raleigh, then we have to be vigilant about what's going on. Now, I need the group to understand that we need to do some learning in a hurry.
That's right.
Because there are, you just heard about, from Chris, about the Churchill Fund. There are hundreds of these funds. Oh yeah, not just Churchill. I mean, PNC has one. And what happened in Charlotte, which I think would be an interesting model for us, is they invited those fund leaders to come to talk to, a group. And so now you got a whole bunch of people bidding for what is going on. The second thing that we have to understand, and because I'm an educator, I'm going to be talking about education, is that not only are we in opportunity zones, but our businesses in Southeast Raleigh are in hub zones.
That's right.
And we have 1,400 students that could be employees of a hub zone. Yep. That also allows those businesses to participate in federal contracting that so there is so much economic information that we have been getting bits and pieces of. So every time somebody makes a presentation to me, I go, well, that's interesting because I just talked to so-and-so. And this is what's happening. There are things that are coming this way to meet Southeast Raleigh and this way. And right now, the value of that property in between Shaw University's 27 acres is worth so much money.
need some people to take that we're gonna take with us, and we want to take y'all with us. Okay. So you ready? You ready? Y'all ready to hear about this? Okay. So this is the brainchild right here, Dr. Al-Nubi. We're gonna introduce ourselves. My name is Tamisha Thomas, and that radio station you saw, that was my mentor. He is my mentor. And so about, I want to say 2 years now, Dr. Al-Nubi, I was fed up. Somebody said earlier that you go through things in life. I was in my valley, and he heard I was in my valley, and he called me up, and Bless heard I was in my valley, and both of them during that valley came and rescued me, and some other people too. And Dr. Al-Nubi, he said, Tamisha, what you do is important, because I was on my way to China. I was teaching kids English through the internet. And boy, I'm glad he saved me, because I would have been there when COVID broke out. And probably back by now in Alabama with a forgotten dream. And so I was like, I know what I do is important. However, I'm tired of these people not understanding my vision. And so the meeting that you saw with Dr. Dillard from Shaw University, he was like, nope, I need you to come to this meeting. And I have been down ever since. He has turned my average ticket for video from $300 to $3,000. Woo! Ain't that good? That's good, ain't it? That's just real good. That's what the good brother doctor does. He understands industry, and he researches industry. And he came to me and he said, Tamisha, Monique Thomas, TMT, did you know your initials were the industry standard for television, media, and telecom? I said, nope, but now you do, and now you know who I am. Okay? Because people didn't believe who I was. People said, well, I see you as next Oprah and those types of things. However, my vision is really big. It is to be a large contributor to OTT. Anybody know what that is? It's over-the-top television. How many of you stream? Yeah, everybody streams, right? How many of you watching Roku? How many of you watching Hulu? How many of you have major subscriptions to various streaming channels? Well, soon you're going to have a subscription to Too Much TV. Okay? All right. Okay? So, basically what I do is I teach youth. I worked at that radio station, Mr. Baz. Steve Murray, I came in 22 years old, and I told Mr. Bass, how you run a radio station? You don't have no promotions department. After coming from V103, a 13 market, the #1 station in that market, I worked there. And Mr. Bass, he often said I was the brightest thing in that station. People get mad because why are you paying Tamisha more than you paying me? He was like, because Tamisha could probably run the station. And now that station is on its last legs, right? So when Doctor called me a year ago and told me about the silver tsunami, which is retiring, that there are more baby boomers than there are Generation Xers, and that there's going to be this big, great wave of retirement, I took him to see my mentor. And I'm going to go back. And when I go back, I want to know how crowdfunding works. And we are going to save a station that was known as the Chitlin Radio Market. Mm-hmm. And so, anybody ever heard that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing when that man owned a radio station and an insurance agency. He still owns them today. They are on autopilot while he's aging. And we live streaming, so I ain't gonna put his business out there, but he's aging. And he's not going into the office right now. But the work that he has done he was always concerned about payroll. Payroll every 2 weeks, payroll. And he knew that I was going to do something before I knew. He took me to every business meeting. And so I am here to make my vision come true. And I got the good brother doctor, and he's like, he transforms vision into equity. And so I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you're here. I'm Tamisha Monique Thomas, and that's who I am.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name is Sean Oliver. I'm owner and general manager, KMT Heating and Air Conditioning, right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Me and Doctor met several years ago, really kind of close to the inception of KMT. And it was funny. I remember sitting down with Doc, and he looked at my numbers, and he spoke so high of them. And I was like, yeah, you know, but I was feeling real poor, and I still am. But I'm just saying, like at that time, you know, you just starting out, you really don't, you know, you don't see your movement. But he saw more than what I was seeing, so he helped me out in the beginning, get some things set up, financial things of that nature. He left on a project, and when he came back, he proposed continuing to help KMT build its capacity, and he asked me would I be interested in working on a project with him rather. And I was like, sure. So what we endeavored, we started doing a lot of research and development. And so in the midst of helping KMT build its capacity, we ran into so many roadblocks. It was just so funny, you know, from the state level, just seeing these contracts, like in the videos, we saw some of the construction jobs that are going on. But when we see these projects, like a lot of those projects were Southeast Raleigh, and some of them were like public-private relationships with the city. Now, but you're moving the colored people out, but when you rebuild them, you're not even hiring the people, giving any contracts to any business owners to even help with the rebuilding of what they're doing. And so we ran into it's just a lot of politics, and when it boiled down to it, we just started to see, you know, we just don't have any kind of voice or say so. And so we started looking, and we said, well, look, you know, what we're building for, looking at KMT, like all businesses need it, from human resources, the marketing, operations, finances, you know, project management. Every business needs that regardless of what you're doing. And so basically what the vision came out to be was the Block Share Services Center. And so as we came together as partners, Tamisha, I met Tamisha, it's been about 2-3 years now. A couple of years, and 2-3 years, and she helps us with our marketing. See, as a small business, it's very difficult. You don't know where to go. I'm not a marketer, you know. I turn wrenches and take measurements, you know. So she helps out with our marketing department, and she's been overseeing that, and that's been very helpful. And so, like I said, it's just good to be here. I hope everybody can see the benefit and in the aggregated environment of businesses and how it becomes dynamic. And I share this, and I'm gonna pass the mic. There was a preacher when I first started out. I never forget. He asked me. He said, "Where do you get your business from?" And I was like, "I get it from everywhere." And he said, "Well, what I mean is, who supports your business?" And I was like, "Well," I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Okay, from black people to white people." He said, "What's the ratio?" And at the time, I probably like 80% Caucasian, and maybe 10-15% black people. And but I'm not marketing, but these are the people that are paying for the service. And so he goes on to share with me how the money should turn in the neighborhood. It should touch so many times before it leaves out. He said, you know, the average individual that starts a business, if they're coming out of an Indian culture, white culture, or whatever, he said their foundation is rooted in their community. He said that's why a lot of black businesses is very difficult for them to grow, for one, because they're not rooted in their community. But then it's a double-edged sword, because the community needs to know about us when we open up a business. If they don't know, they can't support. But then there's some other things we got to get by past psychologically, you know. And I said I was gonna stop, but there's one more thing I want to speak on is the silver tsunami that Tamisha touched on. You gonna play a video? Okay. Now, so the silver tsunami is like she said. There's so many baby boomers, and they're retiring and they're going to be on with the Lord. But what's happening with their businesses? When there's only about 50% of that another congregation behind them that's set to receive it. And so what happens to the businesses? The children don't want it. If anybody paid attention, the government took vocation out of schools, auto mechanics, they took all of that out of school, working with your hands. And so they supported science, the technology field for almost 30 years. And so now there's a big gap. You know, we hear the government say, oh, we want to redo the infrastructure, this and the third, and they can't find people to work. And nobody has been trained to do it. So that's a gap. But even when we look at the baby boomers who have built successful businesses, they have nobody to turn them over to. We have talked to several. There's an electrician in Durham. He's been doing it for 40 years. Dude he was 69, so he's 70 now. He's still working. But he should be sitting off on the sideline, blowing whistles and telling people what to do. I was going to pass it to my son. My son don't want it. My grandson, he doesn't want it. Okay, that's your first two options. What's next? So what was an opening video when it talked about the self-employed, the ESOP, employee stock own option? That helps, that allows you to transition out of your business without having to turn it over to a family member and things of that nature. And so when we start to look at the black businesses that are in that arena, that are retiring, we can't lose their businesses. If they can't pass them on and they just dry up or they sell them to outside the community, now who they sell them to, they're not going to come back and hire our youth out of the community. So we need to, just like you got land gentrification, you have economic and business gentrification as well. And so so we need to make sure that we're aware of and staying in touch with some of the older, our elders like Mr. Batts, because he's transitioning. And what's going to happen with that radio station?
Careers. Beyonce came through there 3 times while I was there. Mm-hmm. My brother swear Kelly and him could have something going on. I just
Definitely. Definitely.
It's a part of history. If you look
right.
at Kathy Hughes, she worked for Re-Up. I didn't know that. Somebody saw this video and said, Tamisha, let me send you this video where Kathy Hughes is on Hot 97, and she talked about working for WEUP. And then I called Junior, who is Mr. Bat's son. I said, Kathy Hughes worked for y'all? He was like, yeah, she worked for us. Because that's just what it was. And so now, because radio is almost gone, because the artists have direct connections with the listeners themselves, then, but you still need exposure. And so the reason that radio station is important, they're going through gentrification as well. Huntsville, it used to be that people moved. Alabama A&M is there. Drake Community College is there. And Oakwood College is there. So you have 3 colleges that are in the northern part of Alabama. So when you're launching radio careers, or Tyler Perry, Mr. Batts holds the insurance for Tyler Perry. Why? Because Tyler Perry came through that market several times. And so what happens to our community when land is gone and when businesses are gone? And so we have a video about the silver tsunami.
10,000 people hit retirement age every day in the United States. And this trend will continue beyond 2029. Over the next 20 years, business owners will transfer over $10 trillion in assets currently held in 12 million privately owned businesses. This affects more than 2.3 million companies and 1 out of 6 workers nationwide, or greater than 25 million people.
They say it takes a village to raise a child. That's me, the child. Tamisha Thomas.
And so one of the things that I noticed in working at the radio station is that a lot of businesses were priced out of radio. So when I came to the radio station, Mr. Batts, he was like, okay, Tamisha, I do need a promotions department. I'm gonna hire you and you the department. I was like, Mr. Batts, I need some people to work with me. And I did more videos because Lamont is still at that radio station. And Mr. Batts talks about how Lamont ended up on his payroll and he never hired him. He was like, one day, he asked me, he's like, son, who told you work at this radio station? And Lamont said, Tamisha did. He's like, I'm going to have to talk to her. And so I didn't know that I did that, but I think I do remember calling Miss Barbara over at the insurance agency and saying, hey, can you add Lamont to the payroll and split him and John's hours together? And so it was just, there was a problem in radio. And that small businesses, like the ones in this room, could not afford us. And Mr. Bass would get upset. He was like, because that can't make payroll. He's always upset about payroll. And so I said, how can we fix this problem? Because business in our community need to be able to access radio. And we got most of our advertising dollars from national rep firms. So that's Cats Radio, anybody who represented us. And then Mr. Batts had a strong sales force of himself. He couldn't keep salespeople because they would go to larger radio stations. And so I said, what if we make the content small businesses? I wouldn't have to pay them like paying stars. They could pay me. That could be revenue, and it could be, they wouldn't have to pay that much. That would be that $100, $200, $300 that Mr. Bass is turning away. So that's the model in which I'm building the OTT with. And so I'm glad y'all here because I want y'all this programming, okay? All right? So next thing we're going to show is Sean spoke about us, about the marketing department. And I work with youth. My son's 16 years old. He's running a live studio right now. We normally have students from Shaw University. And so right now, they come to us and they're looking for a grade. So it helps the capacity of what I do for them in-house because I couldn't get the work done if I didn't have interns. And our goal is to retain them. And so that's why I'm happy y'all here today. You know. So we want y'all to, we want to invite you guys in. We actually, the school is out right now, but we want you to, the reason I asked for you guys to sell your products is because we want to be able to, the show is called Entrepreneur You. They're Shaw students. Shaw is not far from here. And so they come into our office. We created a little studio, and we want you to come and sell your products. And we want to be able to build a relationship with you. I don't want that many vendors. I think that what we have in the room is really, really nice. And from this point, let's play Sean's commercial. So let's see some of the work. When they live stream, they play Sean's commercials and do emails.
You know what? I was often told that when two or three are gathered together in the name of the Almighty is present. So I just want to take this opportunity to give honor to deity with respect to everybody's faith. I want to give honor to those people who came this way before us, who laid the path for us to be here. I want to give honor to my teammates, and I'm going to give honor to you. I'm Dr. Alanubia Imhotep Karahamzi. Most of y'all know the short version of my name. Alanubia is the short version of my name. My last name is actually 26 characters long. And I had the opportunity to go to college at Duke University. I turned down going to Duke University, not because it wasn't an excellent school. I had a chance to go to some other Ivy League colleges. My grandmother started at Shaw University, and she quit because she had my father. My father started at Shaw University. My grandmother quit as a sophomore. My father started at Shaw University after he came out of Vietnam, and he quit as a junior. And when I came into high school, my father said, son, because I made it like a 1280 or something like that on the SAT. He said, son, I don't have any doubt that you can't go to whatever school that you want to go to, but why don't you go to Shaw University and finish with my grandmother and what I started. And what everybody told me I couldn't do, coming from an HBCU. When I went to HBCU, I had my own apartment when I was 16 years old. I was hard-headed. My father says my way or the highway, so I chose the highway. Okay? You know, I came out of Shaw University. When I was at Shaw, I had 2 kids, okay? A kid on the way. I worked a full-time job and a part-time job, and I graduated cum laude, okay? I bought my first home. Thank you. I bought my first home in my senior midterm. So I graduated in May of 1994. I should have graduated earlier, but God had me graduate when I did, you know, and 3 months before I graduated, I bought my first home. I went into corporate America. I had North Carolina A&T State University as a client, my first major client, and then I went into corporate. IBM, Northern Telecom, Cisco, AT&T, Accenture, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Anderson & Young, all these types of companies. And a lot of us go to college and we find out that we're the only one making 6 figures and above. And I got to a point where my father always told me that an ounce of gold or a ton of gold is still gold. And if we take all of the gold out of our backyard and send them to another backyard to serve, what is the likelihood that we're going to bring that gold back to our community? See, when I left corporate America and came back, I was doing fairly well. I mean, I was doing way over 150,000 net. And my father said to me, son, how long you going to do that? Most of us come out of high school, go work and retire for 30 years. How much energy do you have back? So what we have to do as a community is we have to retain the sharpest people in our community, like yourselves. And we have to look at economics 101, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. And if you throw these fingers up like this, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, if you don't have a vision for the land, then the labor and the capital doesn't matter. So we started a campaign called the 18-month countdown, which turned into the Buy, Fix Up, Rebuild the Block campaign, which recently turned into a goal to help 2,000 black businesses generate $500,000 in sales. Just like Tamisha was saying, a lot of us have been priced out of media, whether it's radio, whether it's internet, whether it's TV, okay? And what we realize is that with this new internet wave, that we can create our own content. We don't have to upload to Facebook and then upload somewhere else. We need to be able to upload to our own servers. So one of the technical goals that we have is to generate 50 terabytes of new content a month. 50 terabytes, not gigabytes, okay? And so I passed around some sheets to everybody, and I want you to take a look at that first sheet, because our goal is to become the first black unicorn, and we need your help. A unicorn is $1 billion startup, okay? So Uber, all those companies right there are unicorns. But the way they do it, there's a difference between a hustle and an enterprise. A hustle dies with the hustler. It's not inheritable. And an enterprise is inheritable. And we have to design our businesses to be inheritable, because one of the main challenges that we have as black business owners is that we don't have a succession plan. There's something that says, I'll pour you out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive. Let me explain that to you mathematically. Let me explain it to you economically. The silver tsunami, the video we just watched, there's 78 million baby boomers. They have 40 million children. My generation, I have 6 children. I just had my 8th grandchild. Okay? My oldest son is 35, and my youngest is 22. But there's 80 million millennials. So if death and retirement is inevitable, if you take a 78-ounce cup and pour it into a 40-ounce glass, what's going to happen? So we are in the midst of the overflow. But let me tell you what the challenge is. The challenge is that as a people, we stand ready for the largest inheritance in the United States, and we have not put the infrastructure nor the capacity such that we can stand in the gap and receive our proper inheritance. So what's our goal? Our goal is to help each company to know what the key performance indicators are, to know what your chart of accounts look like. Our goal is to help you to decrease your costs and increase your profit. The most valuable asset in your company is you. It's not your car, it's not your equipment, it's you. And most of us have a cell phone, and we put more money per month on our cell phone than we do on our life insurance or our health insurance. That is a mistake, and everybody who's a business owner within the sound of my voice, if you can go work on the plantation and they can give you benefits, then you can work for yourself. We can put the mathematics together, and we can make sure that you can provide benefits not only to yourself as a CEO, but to provide benefits from anybody who joins your organization. Okay? So I want to give you some of the people that we work with. Probe Consulting, Dr. McManus. KMT Heating and Air Conditioning. My company, Network Commerce Association, who they have stock in. Lead Generation App, L Price Arts, Too Much TV, TMT Youth Community Foundation, CG Staffing, and we want to add your name to the list. See, because every time we look to the heavens, we see a bunch of stars, and all of us are stars. But do y'all know what constellation is?
When the stars connect.
That's right. Constellation is a group of connected stars in the heaven to form one vision. And as a people, if we don't start creating constellation more often, then we can't talk about how great the Hispanics are doing and how they're growing when we've been here longer. You know, so why were you invited? You were invited because you were either attended a previous event of ours or because we appreciate the star in you. Our journey to establish an economic constellation. Why were you invited? Because we need to do an advocacy overview of Buy, Fix Up, Rebuild the Block, socioeconomic development campaign, mission, and activities. Why were you invited? Because we're facing two of the largest economic challenges in COVID-19 and the silver tsunami, and we are about solutions. Most of the time you go to the community, it's easy to talk about problems. With our team, we're solution-oriented. So when you come to the table, know that you're going to come to the table and you're going to leave with a solution. Why were you invited? Because we need your help to develop a unicorn, $1 billion startup. We need your help with crowdsourcing, which is to bring people around. We're in the process of closing on a school. The school is 7.5 acres, 53,000 square feet, okay? And it has a tax value of $2 million, and we got under contract for $500,000. But guess one of the problems we ran into? We couldn't find black commercial appraisers, black attorneys, black architects, black engineers, those resources that we need. And then because the real estate market is on fire, when we go to our Caucasian brothers and sisters, the line is so long that they make us wait that we miss the opportunity. And so when we realize that we have challenges in our community, we have to develop the resources from our community so that we can be self-sufficient and we do not have to go outside of our community to find the excellence that we need to thrive. Got a video?
And then we're going to go to questions.
Nobody told you today, you know, we have to have love for each other, unconditional love, and we don't need to be ashamed to look at our brother and our sister and tell them that we love them with an agape love. One person once said, how you gonna love somebody who you've never seen before and hate the person you see every day? So, you know, we need to do things. And sometimes when you have a business, you know, you're gonna go through a fasting process, you know, and you're gonna feel like giving up. But when you feel like giving up, revisit your why. What got you in the business to start? Why I came out of corporate is so I can use the energy that I have and the things that I learned in corporate America and give the best that God gave me to you. And if God take me home tonight, and I pray He don't, I feel like we want to take this little light of ours and invest it in you. And if we do the same thing, take our little light and invest it with each other, then no weapon formed against us is going to prosper. This is next week.
ROC stands for Reaching Our Community and Kids. Let me ask you a blank check question. If I was going to write you a blank check and you could purchase anything you wanted to make your organization stronger, how would you spend that money?
With $5 million, I will reach communities and kids by building a rec center.
I will also create a recreation center to give kids positive things to do after school.
Like he said as well, for basketball and as far as sports and helping them learn music as well. We need new instruments, so with that, it wouldn't just be put to waste. We can help them, you know, learn music. You know, there will be an additional outlet for the children.
Dr. Alubia, on location at the Higher Rock Christian Center. The honor of being with Mr. Kelvin Potter. He's the executive director of ROC.
Hi, my name is Kelvin Potter. I'm the executive director of Reaching Our Community and Kids Incorporated. With $5 million, we will be able to build a community development center which will house various programs that we can offer to our communities.
And now we're sitting right here in the middle of the claim, the prophecy, you know, and we're asking the creator and the community to go ahead and bless you and bless us.
By attaining this facility here, we can allow our participant who comes to our program to learn how to do math, do STEM, science, technology, all those things we can teach them here.
Okay.
What I love to do is have a computer lab.
Oh, wonderful.
For as with COVID-19, then of course we can have virtual learning.
Right.
As far as the veterans, some of these rooms could turn into a homeless area. Then of course we can do veteran rehabilitation as far as teaching them how to be able to learn a trade here. HVAC, maintenance,
Yes.
do plumbing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We have again, I tell you, we have a business where it's called New Era Facilities Management. Where
Okay.
we go out and do things for the post offices. We can teach them how to do stuff here. We do have some my family members
Yes, sir.
who know how to build, who know how to do HVAC, who know how to do painting. So we can use those individuals to come in voluntarily to teach our younger kids.
Okay.
Not only that, our veterans a skill so that they can be able to be productive in the community.
So when Doctor speaks about buy, fix up, rebuild the block, part of that is the Block Shared Service Center. And the Block Shared Service Center is being able to have marketing, operations, finance, and human resources for your business. School that you saw is a school that he's currently talking about. That school right now is sitting up, waiting for a completion process. And so over the next couple of over the next couple of months, we are looking for a land appraiser. The school is under contract. We did win the bid, and we will be able to actually launch a Block Shared Service Center from there. Our goal is to be able to start to strengthen those 2,000 businesses, and we're looking for those businesses right now here in this market. Are there any questions on what you've heard thus far tonight?
How are we doing?
Okay.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Okay. So if you want to get connected to what we're doing, we've got the next scan. So if you got your phone and you would like to be part of this team, you can scan the QR code, and it leads you directly to the Block Shared Service Center website. You can fill it out. Doctor is working out the process of what this looks like as far as the businesses are concerned. And we want collective input from the people that will be interested in joining. And so this is the Get Involved Block membership. If you are interested in being a part of what we're doing and a part of what we're doing over the next year, scan the QR code, fill out that application, put your information in there, check the small business box for small business under whatever your business is doing, and we will connect with you and probably call a meeting so that we can discuss what we're going to be doing in this space and the resources that we plan on giving businesses such that they are strengthened. One thing we will be providing is marketing, and we want to hear collectively what your business needs so that we can help you grow. Question?
We want to entertain questions for everybody who attended. My bill rate is $250 an hour, but I'm going to offer everybody here a complimentary 1 hour review. Okay, the goal is to do two things: A, to reduce your risk and decrease your cost of doing business, and B, to increase your profit. You know, a lot of times, you know, we need a roadmap. So we want to sit down and do an assessment with you and then talk about a roadmap. So Ms. Thomas, I want everybody individually, you have our contact information. We want to invite you to our studio. We want to give you 15 minutes. So come together with a prepared script or prepared narrative, and we want to invite you to the studio where we can more properly give you an opportunity to talk about your business and make you a little short 1 minute video, okay? And that also includes giving you opportunity to understand some of the other things that we can do with you. Also, indoor air quality is a big thing, okay? Especially in COVID. And KMT Heating and Air Conditioning, I did have one gentleman who came from Fayetteville, Jimmy, who's already identified that he needs somebody to come to Fayetteville and look at his heat and air conditioning. We'll take care of that. But everyone who is here, I'm going to ask Mr. Oliver to offer a discount to anyone who has a home, or even if you live in an apartment, because we do apartment communities as well. And a lot of times if you go to your apartment community and say, hey, KMT Heating and Air Conditioning is a great company, that's somebody who would like to have the maintenance contract, then we would like KMT to be able to get it so we can work with this gentleman right here in his business. So I want to pass the mic to Sean and see what you can offer the group from your company.
Yeah, well, basically, anything that you need done with your heat and air conditioning, we can do a discount. Whether it's a service, whether you're looking at replacing your system, yeah, ductwork. Now I will say But we'll take it. We don't have a problem looking at it. There's just a couple of things with the supply chain, ductwork. Yeah, some of that stuff is it's been almost impossible to get. But like I said, we do the assessment, and then we can definitely go from there. And like I said, that'll be discounted. Typically, we do an inspection rate. I think it's like $89 in tax, but we knock 20% off of it, and we can go from there.
So can we have some questions? You have, between us three, we have over 75 years of business experience, okay? And so we'd like to interview, I know the time is dwindling. We were gonna do some live videos in here, but since we're streaming live, we tabled that. So everyone, you probably have my contact information. Does anybody in here who doesn't have our office number, raise their hand? Okay, let me give you our office number. Our office number is 919-615-1783. 919-615-1783. Okay? So we'd like to entertain some questions from the group and then proceed to close out. Any questions? If you have questions, can you come up to the front? Come on, Phil. You got questions, come on up here. There you go. Oh, you got to put it together? Okay.
Put it together.
Hold it back. Who else might have any kind of questions or comments? There you go. Wonderful.
So Akila and I are business partners. She's my mother company, so I'm under her umbrella. So we'll have tax information questions because I'm a new business owner. I have my own hustles, but I feel like this is my official business because it's consistent, it's daily, and I plan to replace my corporate job with this business. So is that something that you guys offer, like on the tax? Absolutely.
I want to congratulate this lady because she probably just asked one of the top 100 questions in the top 1%. There's two ways to make a profit. Most of us, instead of projecting our tax expenses like we project our revenue and we project our income, we wait to the last minute, call all our receipts, and then file an extension. Okay? What we want to do is you got COVID, you got tax credits, you got so many other benefits, is you want to be able to project your expenses. But this is the thing where we create a relationship. You want to manage the relationship with your CPA and your lawyer. Because a lot of times we're intimidated by those people. But when you hire them, as if you hire me, I work for you. She works for you. He works for you. You see what I'm saying? And so the best solution that you can do is to come into the situation and let them know, how can I use taxes in my tax scenario to my benefit? Because sometimes you might have a small business and you have so many expenses that you really can't use, but if your cousin got a full-time job and they are a percentage partner in your company, you can subordinate the expenses to them. You see what I'm saying? As long as they are part of the company. And so now, if they were making $50,000 a year and the only refund they were going to get was for one child, and you gave them $8,000 worth of expenses, you just offset their tax burden and you made their refund bigger. Because you created an alliance with your business.
So I know you said that your son works with you, right? So I got a bunch of kids, right? So I'm constantly talking to them about opening businesses and working for me. Same thing with Akila. So when it comes to taxes and insurance and writing that off as an expense, or them being our employees, and then them building business credit along with the business that we're building is another thing that I'm really, really interested in. Because when they start out, I don't want my son to walk into a bank and have to ask for a loan with no credit. So that's something else that I want education on. I know a little bit, but I need a lot. Oh, and crypto too. Y'all do crypto? Sorry.
But I do want Tamisha to mention, she has an excellent program called Camp TMT, where she works with youth. She wears two hats. Her for-profit hat is Too Much TV, and her nonprofit hat is TMT Youth Community Foundation, CDC, and she does an excellent job with the youth. So can you speak to them about Camp TMT and some of the things that you're doing with the youth, Tamisha?
We teach kids video production, marketing, web design, and we make it, all the curriculum is the same. We just offer it to different ways. So sometimes we may offer it in the after school. We've done Club TMT after school. Offer it on Saturdays at Saturday Academy. The exposure of it is different, but I have engaged kids in schools, contract teacher in charter schools, and sold the curriculum several places, in recreational centers, cultural arts center, Hayti in Durham, and basically what I found is that it takes about a year and a half of exposure to the kids before I deprogram them from bad media. And so it takes a while. My son was kind of born into it, but you see him running the show tonight by himself. Normally it takes about 5 people to run a production. He knows that I'll probably be contracting work out to turn work faster overseas, and he was like, nah, I want that $300. No, you ain't contracting that. I want to make that money myself. So it's been a journey in getting the kids to understand that, you know, what it is to be employable, and really understand, not that you just show up, but you show up and provide a quality product, you know, something that, you know, if you come back with some video and you cut somebody's head off and the client don't want to pay for that, then I ain't paying you, you know. So those types of things, and really working to get the students mindset into professional. But he's learning. Y'all see him running tonight and doing it with a great attitude. So, you know, I and it's past their bedtime. So, you know, it's a journey. I'm learning too. This will be the first year that I file taxes on the kids. Yeah.
So we're going to be wrapping up soon. So if any questions, please don't be shy. And I want this gentleman who's the artist, I want him to talk about his nice big painting I saw walk out the door.
Hello once again. I have more of a comment. I think you was talking about your mentor. And it's very important to have a mentor when you starting a business or trying to get into an industry. This young man is my mentor. We talk, if not every day, every other day. When I got in this industry, I didn't know a lot. And in our industry, we get more of people, well, learn it on your own, and that's it. But he showed me the ropes. He's given me advice, and we have worked together on certain projects. And I just want to take this time out to say thank you, Sean, for being my mentor and bringing me a part of this, because it's very important to have someone that can teach you the ropes, and when you do make a mistake, they can tell you, hey, yeah, you messed up here, but take this road, take this turn. So I just want to thank you for that, and thank you, Doc.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. This gentleman right here, we have 2 artists. Jimmy, where you at? Come over here, Jimmy, please. Mr. Jimmy, where's Miss Odom? Come over here. We're going to close out. We got these 2 artists. And I want to tell you, it's so important for us to have artists. Come on, bro. I just want to say how grateful. We got some more artists? Come on over here. Where's the artist at? Come on over here, the artist. I just want to say how grateful I am to you, Jimmy, for the great work you do. Brother, what's your name? BJ Bays. I want to thank you for the great work you do. Sister Odom, thank you. And what's your name? Mally B. And your name? Kendall Owen. And we had some writers in the house, Miss Mills. Look, the artists take our history and they turn it into painting. They turn it into stone. Miss Muna, she turns it into clothing. And so whether you're a fabric artist, a textile artist, a writing artist, a singing artist, what you are is creators. And if you don't remember one thing, remember this: competition can never hang with creation. Competition can never hang with creation. Competition is an afterthought after you created it. And I just want to thank all of you within the sound of my voice for having the nerve and the tenacity to start a business, you know, and go after your heart's content. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Miss Moon, and I want to say to you, sister, I love you. I'm glad you came from Durham and Roxborough to be here. Everyone else, the new brother I met who's a photographer, I want to thank you. Tim, I want to thank you. Everybody on the sound of my voice. The brother over here from New York sitting in the back looking quite distinguished. I want to salute you, and I want to thank you. And it's just what we need to do is what they do on canvas. Let our light shine. I want to give the last word to this brother right here. And I want you to come with your artist, because he walked a very big painting out the door. And you see what we have here? This beautiful sister, these wonderful, I want to see the artists work together. There's no reason for us to be competing with each other when we should be complimenting each other. Do y'all agree? You know, we are too great. We have to stop this false sense of territorialism, and we have to consolidate our strength. The same way that Mr. Oliver Shawn did with the young man that left, we have to find somebody older than us and somebody younger than us and pull us all into the circle so we can work together. So can you tell us about your experience today? And I'm going to pass it to the artist, and then we out. Tell us about your experience today. I'm stepping out, y'all. There you go. You got the mic.
I just heard about the event a few days ago, networking event, and I was just happy to be a part of it. I'm a small business owner. I'm trying to learn how to grow my business, reach out in diversity, of course, attract our culture into the arts, and give more inspiration to the creative people who aspire to be artists and make it more culturally acceptable and appreciated. I do see the appreciation for art growing in different aspects. Abstract and just collectives, period. People are just starting to appreciate art more. So I appreciate it as it's growing, and I'm just trying to learn more how to better my business.
He's not going to say much.
Talk to us. Creators, y'all. They create with art, and we create with business. We all create together.
Well, basically, I'm new at being an artist. More so, I'm in my learning phase. I'm learning a lot from Jimmy here, and I'm just basically what we're just is black artistry. We just trying to do the culture, you know, show different forms of art within the culture, and we would like to collaborate, and you know, we would like to produce more product, you know, and do some different things. And I think this definitely has been a big step in us advancing and growing our business and learning a lot. Cause like I said, I'm new at this, and this is a great group to be around.
New generation artists. Go ahead.
The youngsters.
Well, I think they really kind of basically said what I wanted to say, but so my art is like a free form of expression, and most of my best paintings come from life experiences. So, and you know, like I put all my experience in my paintings, and anyone can do that. I have an 11-year-old, and I'm trying to get her into it as well. So hopefully, you know, we can collab, and me and creativity can collab, and we all can collab, I don't know, in the future. That's the goal. But here you go.
All right. Yeah, I'm Creativity. Me and Mally, we've been friends for like 6 years. And we just started doing art together, and Baze is actually the one that told me about this event today. So I agree, it is not about competition or whatever. Like, we all share events, and we share like our ideas and stuff with each other. So that's what it's about. So yeah.
And we would like to give a thank you to you as well.
Definitely. Yeah, no. Look professional.
Our next event is on.
Use the QR code and look for some more information, and let's fill up this room. Our goal is to be able to bring people out and get you guys selling stuff. Y'all have a good night.